As long as I can remember, I always wanted to be an architect. I don't know where that came from. There are no architects in my family. I moved to Evansville with my parents. I'm an only child. My father was an engineer with Westinghouse. Moved here my sophomore year in high school. Graduated from North High School. Left Evansville to attend the University of Cincinnati. Lived there for a short time after graduation. By that time I had married my wife Sharon, who was from here and met in high school. We moved back to Evansville in 1969. Been here ever since. When I came back to Evansville after a couple of years after graduation, I went to work for a firm by the name of Hieronymus Knapp & Given, probably the largest firm in Evansville at the time. Very similar firm to what I eventually became. They were working on large civic projects, universities and schools and things like that. It was a great place to work. They were most accommodating to a young student fresh out of school. Evansville is, I think, a wonderful place to live. It's centrally located. You can get to Nashville, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, St. Louis. All those things are very good. There's a lot of, the Kentucky lakes and New Harmonies and things around it. It's a beautiful area. But I think most importantly, there were so many people that helped me in my early years that I never really thought of going anywhere else. When I started my own firm, it wasn't a scary thing or anything like that. It was what I wanted to do. I had great aspirations, and I think I'd had a lot of good advice from people along the way. By then, I'd met a lot of people. A lot of people encouraged me that if that's what you want to do, go for it. You're young. Don't be afraid of failure. It all worked out pretty well.
Indeed, it did work out. As you think about the city of Evansville and you think about all the physical structures that Ed Hafer and his company had an imprint on, it's huge. I don't think there's a building that's been built in the last 20 years that he hasn't had, at least some portion of his great mind working on. As I think about what he's done with the Evansville Regional Business Committee and driving for the IU School of Medicine and driving for great things in education and driving for the hotel and driving for all the changes that the group's trying to face. And Ed never takes credit. Ed always is the guy that's behind the scenes and pushing. But he's a wonderful mentor to people, and he leads with such great humility. He leads with such great desire and passion for this community. I'd say it's worked out phenomenally well for all of us. I am truly convinced that when Ed Hafer wakes up in the morning, first thing he does is say good morning to Sharon. The next thing he does is, what can I do to drive and make a better place out of Evansville, Indiana? And he works passionately throughout the day in his great, humble manner. And when he goes to bed at night and lays his head on his pillow, I think he asks himself, did I do enough to drive change? Did I do enough to really make a difference in this community? So you take that humility with that passion for this community and the imprint that he's left in this community, it's just insurmountable. And I can tell you today that this community is a far better place because of Ed Hafer.
Architecture, as we practiced it, was really a team effort. None of these projects were done by just Ed Hafer. There were other people that were involved in the design, and design is just the first part of it. The second part is figuring out, how to get it built. Not actually building it, but doing all the technical drawings and everything so that not only is it a good design, but it's a quality piece of work that's going to serve the clients well. So there are a lot of people, architects, engineers, consultants of various types, that all go together to do these things. It wasn't one person. Thinking of junior achievement, whatever I am or I've done has been through the help of a lot of other people, whether it's in those formative years of your parents and relatives, whether it's elementary teachers, high school teachers, college professors, professionals that I worked for, business leaders and others that I worked for on projects and things like that. All of these people have contributed to it. So as you look at junior achievement and their goals of mentoring and involving business leaders and others in helping kids to grow and develop interests and these sorts of things, I'm a textbook example of that.